Hi guys, how's it going? Happy Saturday. Welcome to Mental Health Day. Also, we are in the 1010 portal, so October 10th, 2020. Big numerology here, and still sorting out the energies of this year and coming up into the end of the year, the final frontier, the final few months of 2020. Very interesting. It's going to be very intriguing to see what we create, what we express, what we communicate, how we stand in our truth, how we communicate our truth, and how well we can tap into that gift, that treasure that's within us, and how connected we can really be to our heart space and letting go and surrendering to the highest version. Hi, Charlotte. How you doing? Of ourselves, and letting those limitations continue to fall away. And if there are challenges, finding creative solutions and asking spirit for solutions when we can't quite see a way around something, a roadblock per se, and asking for assistance continually, asking for help, giving help when it's needed, and really continuing to bring heaven to earth in terms of treating our body well and treating our mind well, and just seeing how balanced we can actually manifest things in terms of our life. So how well can we manifest balance within ourselves? And this is a really great portal to check in with yourself and see where your mental landscape is at. How is that garden doing? Do you need to water the mental garden? Do you need to pull a few weeds? And if you are feeling burnt out, I do feel like there are a few people out there who are spiritually burnt out, not necessarily feeling the physical effects. They will be connected, but you might feel a slight difference because you might have been physically burnt out before in terms of go, 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 maybe workaholic, that energy. Whereas now you might be experiencing something akin to that, but it's not quite the same. And you might have been wondering why this is a little bit different. Well, I think that we're still sussing out how ready we are to actually take the next step in our biggest success story. So whatever that is, launching something, writing a book, traveling the world, connecting with a mentor, Spirit, I believe, has been sending us little tests, little initiations that are really culminating a lesson or multiple lessons that we have been going through and seeing where we are at. But not only that, we are observing from a higher perspective ourselves and going, okay, have we achieved what we wanted to achieve? Have we come into a space of acceptance, of surrender about where we are right now, where we are in our lives, and what we are capable of doing? Even if we're not quite there, what we are capable of doing, really honing in on that capacity, that strength, that courage, so that we know we can move forward with that energy. There's been a little bit of galactic energy going on. So you might be having dreams, especially with the 1010 portal last night, tonight, in the next couple days. And then as we come up to the full moon on the 31st, you might have some messages coming through. So pay very close attention. They could be guides that you haven't met before. And so that will be really interesting for you to connect with them and maybe make a little bit of a ritual or ceremony, inviting these new guides into your life and kind of catching them up on where you're at, where your intentions are, and asking for help where you need it. So once again, some galactic help coming in for those star seeds in the group and watching or catching the replay. And we've got some rain happening here where I am. And so this is purification, this is cleansing, this is really looking at the energy of the emotional landscape and tapping into the playful, joyful side of that as well. Really tapping into the truth of yourself. What do you know to be true that you haven't quite expressed yet? And that's a really interesting one to meditate on. What do you know to be true that you haven't quite expressed yet? So this unfolding, this blossoming, is continuing so that you can really take up space on this journey and you can really communicate wisely and share your gifts and share them in a capacity where you are honored to do so. And, really continuing to deconstruct the ego. And time and timing has a lot to do with the ego, because that's a construct that we create here. I mean, it is similar to aging, but I feel like aging and time for us are fairly connected. Hi, Jocelyn. Welcome. And so really, if you're worried about timing, continue to check in with where your ego is at in terms of wanting to control situations, and think about the possibilities of timeline jumping or manifesting different possibilities for yourself, different timelines. If you want to get super creative, kind of go, okay, well, this is a possible timeline I might see. I want to shift from here to here. How do I do that? And start playing around with your pure potential power here. And doing so, obviously, in a space of gratitude and a space of respect. But it might be kind of interesting for you to start playing around with the idea of no time. So a little bit of an extra interesting message today for those who are watching, because I don't usually talk about that kind of thing, but I feel like that's connected in with the galactic energies that are coming through. And when I say galactic energies, I don't know if you want to do research yourself, but there's like a galactic council, Arcturian, Pleiades. You might be connected to Sirius or Orion. You might have always been fascinated with Orion and felt a connection particular to that constellation, that energy. And so there's just the language description of that here on Earth is Starseed or Galactic Federation, Galactic Council. And these are simply beings that are not described as human or earthly beings. So there's a lot of communication and translation happening back and forth. So in those dreams, you might even have communication that isn't particularly in your language. But you'll be able to understand through the energy and just the flow of that communication from heart to heart. So pay very close attention to the energies coming through. You might be dreaming about whales. Whales are connected to the Akashic records. So there might be some exploration of the Akashic records, meaning that if there's any splinters or excess or anything to do with a special soul bond or contract that you agreed to, but you have free will and you are always evolving. So these things are fluctuating and fluid, so impermanent. It might change, or you might want to timeline jump a sacred contract, and you still want to hold it in its highest integrity. So you can work with star beings in that regard, work with your higher self, connecting in with the Akashic records too. And that just simply means that you are aware of past, present, future, because if you collapse time, then they're all in the same moment. They're all in the same strand of energy or frequency. So you can move within them. However, clearly our ego and our minds do have a lot of limitation. And so it's at this point, I would say, just more as a playful vision, kind of check in with yourself and how you feel about changing your reality from one thing to another through, they want me to be very careful with my words here, conscious action. We want another word in the middle, but I can't figure out conscious. They say controlled, but conscious controlled action. But the controlled isn't, that word isn't good enough for them. So you can kind of play around with what you feel there. But of course, this is something that is conscious coming from your heart. This is a manifestation for an act of service. So it's not a manifestation for something where you get something, your pony. But it is something where you can express your full self in a deeper, more powerful way and be of service to more people, expressing the truth within yourself more freely. So there we go. Okay. So a lot of energy coming through. Today is a really good day to ground. Really great day to maybe go out in the rain. And if you have stones, or if you like to listen to music, maybe do a meditation with some grounding music. That'd be really lovely for today. And checking in with yourself, feeding yourself with love. So choosing life-affirming foods, which would be really good. But if you can't do that all the time, just focus on doing that for today. And they're telling me, because I'm talking really fast, slow down as well. So take time to slow down today. So maybe we should all just take a deep breath. Okay. So listen to your guides, pay attention, slow down, cleanse, be aware of time and its connection to the ego. Allow yourself to receive help. Allow yourself to see something better for yourself, to be a visionary in your own life, and to continue to allow things to unfold. Of course, we're consciously acting and taking action steps to move towards a certain goal, but really embracing the energy of impermanence at this time as well, and acknowledging what we don't know. So here we are. Today I'm using the Isis Oracle from Alana Fairchild, because Isis is a big name, right? So, and then Archangel Michael, I've pulled one from the Shapeshifters Oracle by Lucy Cavendish. Archangel Michael, that book was done by Doreen Virtue when she was still rocking with us. And for a little bit of a taste of love and relationships, I pulled from my Kindred Spirit Love Oracle and my new deck, new to me deck, not one of my creations, the Oracle of the Seven Energies by Colette Baron Reed. So that will be our relationship deck. And then finally, Mystical Wisdom, just to clarify. And this is part of my the new purchases here. And I just love the artwork. So I am really excited to use those again. But these decks were carefully chosen for today. So let's see what we have in our past position for this Psychic Saturday reading, Portal 1010. And once again, just as a preliminary, you can find me on Facebook, Kindred Heart Tarot. You can book through the site there, and you can also book through Acuity Scheduling. I'll put the link down below this video. If you feel like donating, there's a PayPal donate pinned to the top of the Kindred Heart Tarot page, and I will be putting it in the link down below if you feel like donating. And also thank you to those who have donated, much appreciated. And let's get started. Here we go. Past life, present power. We have the many spiritual faces of you. And it's so interesting because I was just talking about the energy of time. So embracing this energy of timelessness as we see, the sands of time here in this card. And I'm going to read a little bit from the booklet here, just because I feel guided to. But if we think about, what do you think when you first see this card in terms of, the Egyptian presence? Hi, Kathy. How you doing? Okay, no problem. I will pull a card for you. So the many spiritual faces of you. How many faces of you? So think about the masks we wear. The masks we wear in terms of our soul. So even this is considered a mask for my soul. This is Molly, right? In this incarnation, that is the mask I wear. And so think about all of the incarnations you may have had. How many faces have you had? How many stories? How many connections? How many bonds? So I just feel the power of the concept of this card. Past life, present power. So if your soul is always evolving, and yet there's this timeless nature that we are in, there is still this energy of evolution within time. So perhaps that is where we brought in that energy as well. But if our soul is always evolving, even if time isn't linear, it still means that we can use all of our lessons and our power that we accumulated from past lives or present lives in this one right here, right now. So very, very intriguing in terms of the time link as well. So let's see. This, I have had this this deck for a few years, and I haven't even begun to truly explore this, because what tends to happen is you won't find new ones until you've accomplished some of the tasks or lessons in the initiation set out for you, for your soul. So it says, when the soul is growing in service to humanity, in service to the great feminine and her call that all beings be healed and free, it gathers internal resources to assist on the path. These resources include powers and gifts from other lifetimes. You are currently integrating past life abilities, and you are guided by the oracle of past life present power to be open to shifting internally and in your experience of your own levels of power and spiritual abilities. I'm just going to read the first paragraph here. Talents, abilities, and powers wish to be restored to you now from past incarnations. This will help your path. You will often be able to recognize this because you will feel some instant fascination or deep interest for culture, philosophy, heritage, or even place on Earth or beyond, which is deeply compelling. Perhaps my interest right now in the Pleiades. So, at such times, there can be emotions, feelings, and even phobias or fears that temporarily arise. You may even find your tastes for food and clothing and your sleep or other habits change quickly and noticeably for a time. These can all be signs that a past life energy is being integrated. So we're bringing in and integrating, aligning our frequencies, our perceptions, our understanding of the past, our understanding of a greater whole, a higher vision, a higher perspective, and allowing these energies to come back. They do say most of this lifetime is about remembering. So if you are, say, resonating with being a witch, or you are really, really intelligent in terms of like marine biology, well, perhaps you were a scientist in a past life and you studied marine biology, and or you were a gifted healer and you worked by the sea and you were really in tune with all the energies and movements. So, a lot of energy is put into the idea of remembering who you are. Even the Lion King, Rafiki with a little bonker. So remember who you are. Remember your power. Remember your presence. And so when we are a little bit too ingrained in the patterns and the illusions of this life, we start to forget our power. And power isn't a bad thing. Power can be either or, just like this entire experience has been set up for us, either or, sun and moon, either or. But yet, we are coming further into this unity energy, unity consciousness, which means duality is what you make of it. So to clarify past life, present power, and this energy of bringing in new gifts, remembering new gifts, and really taking off, say, the illusions, the deception masks that we've learned to wear over time. It says, admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. I appreciate your support in helping me face my feelings with grace and acceptance so that I can be lovingly honest with myself and others. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for giving me courage and strength. So there are further truths here that we are unraveling. So this could be another person who has discovered a truth about themselves and their feelings. This could be you discovering a truth about your feelings. And it says, admit the truth to yourself and act accordingly. So, one of my cards and one of the decks says, a mind of clarity is a mind of action. So if you don't have clarity, you're going to be procrastinating. So this energy is about the truth coming out within yourself. So admitting a truth within about your feelings. So this isn't an analytical truth. This isn't an equation. This is a feeling inside yourself. This could be connected to your intuition. Could be connected to guidance and messages you've received. But this is really important because what it's saying to us is perhaps admitting the truth about this power that you hold, this vision that you have for yourself. This will allow you to take action. But if you are not able to claim this energy, you may be stuck in an energy of procrastination for longer than you need to. be. So admit the truth, admit your power, admit your leadership skills, admit that you want more, admit that you don't want to settle, admit that you can't work 40 hours a week. Whatever it is for you, what is this truth? What is the emotional energy and power behind that truth? And then how can we act from there? How can we act on that truth? Let's read that. Admit the truth to yourself. Okay. You've drawn this card because there's an important feeling that you've been trying to ignore. Yet try as you might to push it aside, this feeling urges you to be honest with yourself. Archangel Michael says that facing this truth will be healing, and it will give you the direction and guidance you seek. You've tried to disregard your inner urging because you're worried about making life changes. Archangel Michael reassures you that he's guiding you and making sure that your needs are met and your relationships stay healthy. Possible specific meanings: heal or leave an unhealthy situation. Don't compromise. Face your fears. Hold loving thoughts about yourself in this situation. And remember, this is in our past position. I appreciate your support in helping me face my feelings with grace and acceptance so that I can be lovingly honest with myself and others. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for giving me courage and strength. So, very interesting so far. Let's see what we have to clarify this line. Cheer up. Live in the moment. Ooh, another time reference. I love it. So this is a very beautiful card. And, it looks like she's in the water in the emotional realm, but yet there's a tree under the water and a tree up above. But it does look like she's in that emotional, watery realm. So this can be talking about the moon, and we've got some stars here as well. So cheer up, live in the moment. Perhaps we're not meant to, and this is why most of us don't remember all of our lifetimes. Because imagine the burden of that in some ways, to remember every single family member, every single lover, every single, betrayal, every single success. And perhaps even though we want it to be controlled, we want to know exactly what's going to happen, perhaps this is why we don't remember, because this allows us to live more in the present. It does take conscious effort to do this, to cheer up, live in the moment, surrender to the flow, let things be, let things unlock as they will in divine time, which is always our present moment, right? So continuing to enjoy the alignment that you are in, finding the best of where you are. That is a key element to what's going on, or what we have been just going through, working on establishing a consistent energy or stable foundation of grounding where we can return to this energy and know that we might be having a challenging time. Chaos might be erupting around us, but we can still live in the moment. We can still find ways to find beauty exactly where we are, whether that's getting your nails done or going out and puddle jumping in the rain, or just remembering, maybe fondly remembering a happier time and going, okay, this is impermanent. I will find my way back to more joy, more laughter, more happiness. And I am powerful enough to manifest change. Or simply you are powerful enough to surrender to what is the greater vision for you that Spirit has. Both are equally powerful, and it's learning when to act and when to receive in a beautifully orchestrated divine dance. And so really, really, Spirit is reminding us, cheer up. And this could also be, and it's kind of strange to say this, but it can also be a reminder, don't worry so much about these moments, because you have many moments, you have many lives. But right now, all your power is in the present. And so if you look at it like the journey it is, perhaps infinite, then we go from looking at it like this, and it's a little bit terrifying. I can also readily admit this, even though my belief system is pretty open. But if you go like this and go, wow, and then it just becomes infinite, right? It just expands so far out of maybe our conscious perception or what we can get past. I do feel like we do have governors so that we can embody and live in this lifetime. But it's so much bigger, so much more expansive. And so if we focus on the journey and the many lives and the spiritual evolution, it's not just about the pain and the suffering. It's about our soul's joy, our soul's celebration of our evolution, of our learning and our growth. So I feel like that can be an energy to meditate on today, and how we can cheer up, how we can live in the moment more. And let's go into our present energies. I'm just going to have a sip of tea here. If you are enjoying the video, please feel free to give me a thumbs up. And if you haven't subscribed and you enjoy this content, please subscribe, support the channel. And if you would like to, feel free to comment, let me know what's going on, if you're resonating with the cards. And let's see what we have in the present position. Ooh, so the Temple of Black Obsidian, the Dark Healing Chamber. So wow, we are really going through it, you guys. This card tends to come up more often than not, and it is all about the shadow work. If you've worked with obsidian, you know that it's volcanic glass, right? So you could have a dagger made of obsidian and it would cut very sharp. And I think this is about cutting to the truth beneath, the shadows. If you were to look into a mirror, where are you lying to yourself? Where do the deceptions lie within your own perception of you and your life? And living in the moment. How are you living in the moment? How are you enjoying this embodiment? Are you? Where is there that truth to admit so that you can move forward and out of that energy of procrastination? I'm going to read a little bit from the Temple of Black Obsidian, the Dark Healing Chamber. Let's see, Temple. I love it because I still do the alphabet in my head. So here we go. I'm not going to read it all because they're quite long. Beloved initiate, the most challenging task is not to confront an external enemy, but to take courage in both hands and journey within, to meet our own dark self and begin the healing task of bringing love, acceptance, and light to it. That is the sacred purpose of any enemy, within or without, to bring us more deeply into our own being as we seek to find and heal darkness within. This is interesting because I just finished a book, Jaguar Woman, by Linda V. Andrews, and she talks about the good enemy. And I had an experience with a narcissist and or a narcissistic energy. And for me, I had reflected on this a few times because it was deeply wounding and deeply confusing, because you don't expect someone to be able to lie and be deceptive as much as they are. That's their bread and butter. That's how they move, right? That's their language. And it's really interesting because I started to look at that person like my good enemy. So teaching me through being an adversary instead of an ally, which is a higher vision of something that you can transmute and transform. But it takes a lot of work in terms of letting go of the ego, but also you cannot really forgive someone's darkness. You can't really look at it from a higher perspective or see your participation, see the energy cycle that allowed that energy to move so powerfully in your life, or that contract, why it was necessary for your soul's evolution, if you are not willing to look at the darkness within. And And so it's really, really powerful to truly look at how dark your wounds can bring, those energies to your life. And the darkness in others, really going, wow, there does exist that level of darkness in others. And instead of being naive about it, understanding that there are reasons why shamans and powerful people have, I think there's a cricket in here, have protective amulets, protective rituals, and they treasure their power. And we're talking about power, past life, present power. And there are reasons why we have guides and guardians to help us protect power, because when we forget we have it, then even if another person doesn't consciously know that they're going after our power, they can be magnetized by it and attracted by it. And so it is important to understand, and that is directly linked into our self-worth. But when you are working with power and energy and frequency, it's even more important to understand your self-worth, because that is directly linked with your power. So I'm going to read the next paragraph here. The Temple of Black Obsidian is a ruthlessly honest place of raw love and healing, truly profound and lasting. So this is about taking down all the constructs and structures that are not stable. This is your inner tower moment. Black obsidian is protective and revealing. It will prevent harm from external or internal forces, because you can be the most destructive force in your own life, right? And if we go back to this card, this cheer up, if you're committed, if you're deeply committed to complaining, if you're deeply committed to nothing ever working out for you, or simply not changing, not being willing to admit a mistake, admitting fault, any of those things, you are deeply rooted in permanence, right? Which is not the truth of the world. We know that, we understand that. So it says deep relief and transformation can occur here. Black obsidian is protective and revealing. It will prevent harm from external or internal forces, but it will also reveal that which has been lurking in the shadows of the self, trying to avoid being brought out into the open for fear of condemnation. So this is an interesting one, because I talked in one of my last readings about me having this, and this is through my good enemy or my adversary, going, wow, I always looked at that partner as being afraid, being insecure, having really low self-esteem, and this is why this energy of cruelty or coldness was projected in my direction. Well, I also really I went too much into my mind with that, I will admit, but I went into my heart space as well. And in that heart space, I did realize that I do have fears surrounding love. And so who knows? Where did these come from? I can't pick up the card right now, but perhaps through many, many lifetimes of betrayal or hurt or famine, or say being persecuted and not being able to love for love. And so perhaps there are these fears, and it was just 3333 on the timestamp, that we have carried forward. So, there's the double-edged sword, where you have this power that you have, or you are reclaiming or remembering, that you have achieved through many, many lifetimes. But on the same side of that blade is that you have also gone through all of the lessons that it took to achieve that power. And so you might have some triggering and wounding happening from past lives, that the Temple of the Black Obsidian is helping you face your fears. Because right now, the people that are the most afraid, they're the ones that cause the most damage. They're the ones that project the most pain, and they try to grab people down and bring them down with them, right? Because they also want comfort too, but they would rather you meet them down in lower energy levels than actually change to come up to meet you there, because they're afraid of that, right? So where are you afraid of change? Where are you afraid of your darkness? So The biggest challenge we face in entering the Temple of Black Obsidian is our own unwillingness to love and accept all parts of us. Okay? So the biggest challenge we face in entering the Temple of Black Obsidian is our own unwillingness to love and accept all parts of us. Are you willing to accept your wrinkles? Are you willing to accept that you played a part in a toxic relationship? Are you willing to accept that you chose this or that and this is where it resulted? And can you tap into why you made those decisions at the time? Can you honor yourself in that instead of belittling yourself? That's a hard word to say. And can you clear out some of the shame of the past if it is holding you back? Is there a truth here? The truth is neutral, right? It is what it is. But can you clear it? Are you afraid? Are you afraid of love? Are you afraid of commitment? And start with the root of this, and then you can explore it further. But there are many, many layers to whatever you come up with that you are afraid of. Are you afraid of your power? Are you afraid of your success? Are you afraid of being a failure? Are you afraid of not being a mother? Are you afraid of being a poor mother? What are you afraid of right now in this moment? What is taking up your joy? What is stopping you from cheering up? Really, what is it? What is it? Because there is something that is eating away at our ability to feel happiness and contentment and joy. And so part of this energy of clearing out fear and bringing everything to the surface, which we see in the external, is really inviting our own shadow to become one with our light, so that we have unity and non-duality in that shadow as well, so that we can fully embrace. That's a really important one. Abandonment, that is huge. I can't remember who I was talking to, but we were talking about that energy of abandonment. And I was saying, for me personally, it's so strange. I feel more connected than ever with my spiritual guides and the energy of being small in terms of how big and expansive and infinite the universe is. I'm really going, whoa, okay, wow, like that's not what I expected. I didn't expect some of these lessons that I learned with my good enemy. And it really blew me away, and I had to step back a little bit. But one of the biggest things I felt was abandonment. All of my dreams, all of my goals were all of a sudden, boom, they were just obliterated because they had to be, because I was evolving into a new version of myself. And it was really hard to understand at the time. And I still have cognitive dissonance in terms of my mind not being able to wrap my head around things, about this abandonment of certain goals, certain visions of a person, of a life I thought was right, in the palm of my hand being nurtured, but it wasn't. It was an illusion. So there is a lot of energy to unravel in terms of these energies, but abandonment is probably one of the most powerful shadow energies. And one of the biggest lessons I learned with another enemy was self-abandonment. I truly self-abandoned in that relationship. And it was a very, very sad energy to have to go through, to go, wow, okay, that's what it's like when you're willing or unconscious about your power, or you're unconscious about your insecurities, or it's subconscious. So you might think, I am confident, I can, I have self-worth, I think I'm beautiful, I think I'm powerful. But then your actions somehow sabotage that idea, because there's a subconscious energy working underneath everything. And that's what's holding everything up. So when I self-abandoned, that was a huge lesson. And it's not that you can't repeat these mistakes, because I self-abandoned in that. And I thought, whoa, I'll never do that again. And that's when I entered into a relationship with another good enemy. And it just took that lesson to the absolute furthest that it could before I reached my absolute breaking point in terms of what would I accept from others and what would I expect for myself. So abandonment can be about an external force. It can also be about that internal energy, right? And so if we're looking inside and if we're really looking at the shadows within, then inviting that energy out to see how it expresses in your daily life, how it expresses in your heart space, how it expresses in your mind, how it expresses in your body is really important to starting to really cultivate a healthy relationship with those shadows so that you can see them, you can bring them into awareness so that they don't undermine your experiences. So let's see what Archangel Michael has to say about this energy. Ooh, a favorable outcome. It says, thank you for the beautiful outcome to this situation, which is perfect and fair for everyone involved. Thank you, Archangel Michael, for helping me trust and have faith. So a lot of trust and faith is required when we're working with the universe. And that's another big thing about this past life, present power and admitting the truth and accepting that there is a higher vision of collective unity. And so a favorable outcome. Thank you for the beautiful outcome to this situation. So you are still clearing shadows, very heavy shadows that or cycles that may have lasted multiple lifetimes. And I think I've touched on this, but you could have an issue, say that this is me with my relationship, say this soul and I, maybe we have done this 500 times before. And this is a lifetime where we finally go, no, and break through one or both breaks through their fear of love or commitment or whatever has been a reoccurring cycle for many, 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 many reincarnations or incarnations. And what lessons does that shadow have to bring? Just to imagine, it's kind of interesting to conceive what energy unleashes once you have unlocked a secret to a shadow of yours that you have carried for a very long time. What kind of power is that? It seems really interesting to me because these lessons, these initiations, they can bring you to your knees. They can take you all the way to the ground. And I've been there a few times. And so what is that like? There's this deep humility that happens. You know you're powerful, you're strong, you might feel connected, you might have your intuition, your divinity, and yet there are these times when doubt really plague, and affect our ability to have trust and faith in ourselves, but in something greater. So I really do feel like we have this really massive energy of fear, and the fears are all going, hello, nice to see you again. How did you enjoy that lesson? What have you garnered, received from that lesson? What are you willing to look at, and what are you still not willing to look at? Let's be grateful for your energy in willingness to look at what you have, and let's still go a little bit deeper into the temple and look at what you are unwilling to look at still. Because that is going to release and absolve energy for you, where a favorable outcome is destined, right? And it already is. You are already there. My guides and my angels are all kind of sending this really, really soft energy, very gentle energy, because they understand the discipline that it has taken to get to the spot that you are now. And it can almost feel like you climb Mount Everest and you think you're done and you're going to head back down the mountain, and maybe you didn't reach the top, right? Maybe you got 3/4 of the way up and you had to turn back, and there's 444 on the timestamp, and you felt like that was a failure. But Are you looking at what you've achieved? And so my angels and guides are really coming through strongly for you and for myself that, cheer up. You have done amazing. Like, they would be sounding the trumpets if they're not already. And you might have tapped into this energy already that they're going, celebrate, like it's time. And you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. But it doesn't seem conducive to that in the world we live in right now. But it is saying you must cultivate that for yourself. And in order to do that, in order to help us do that, is this Temple of Black Obsidian, the Dark Healing Chamber. And I don't really want to go too far into this because I don't know the answers, and I'm totally willing to say I don't know the answers. I don't know who is able to change and who is not, right? There are people who have severe mental health issues that will never change. And perhaps that is part of their path. They're committed to that path, and that is what they are supposed to be upholding, right? And then there may be people who can face their fears, who can change. But you will really have to listen to your intuition. You're going to have to face deception head on and really recognize the truth in others and in yourself. And that's another key aspect to this teaching, this learning today, is if you are not willing to look at the truth within yourself, buried deep within yourself, how are you expecting yourself to be able to see another's truth deep within, even if it is ugly, even if it is dark and scary, right? If you can't bring awareness to that within yourself, it's going to be problematic seeing that in another. Or if all you want to see is the best in yourself and you are not willing or able to see any shadow, any darkness, any mistake, any wrongdoing you ever did to anybody, then perhaps this is why there is an energy of only seeing the best qualities in others. And yet that will hinder you in the long run because the truth will always come out. But the longer you evade it, the longer you're building on shaky foundation. So we're at this 0 point. We've done so much amazing work. Some of us are launching into this path already, this new path. Some of us are just, putting our shoes on, getting ready, got the Rocky music. But just know that your hard work, your willingness, your dedication, your perseverance, your discipline, it is all leading to something in this moment. In this very moment, you hold that power because you are always creating from this very moment. Even if you can't wrap your mind around being happy right now and or your ability to create, or manifest or the timing energy I was talking about, not quite right timing, but then we're always in the now. So then what is time anyways? Well, just think about that. Think about the place of pure potentiality being only in the now, and think about who holds that only in the now as you're consciously expressing as yourself, or Jocelyn or Charlotte or Molly. You are the point of pure potentiality right now in this moment. So if it's not here right now, you're calling to it, you're creating it, you're manifesting it in. So claim that power, claim that responsibility, and ask for help if you need help manifesting, or if you need help remembering your power. But we don't want to do no Jafar business here. I'm just talking about the beauty, the energy, because even if you think about the feminine lineage or the feminine within the masculine right now, really urged to come through with the emotional body, urged to come through with receptivity, with gentleness, with nurturing. And within that energy, the oppression that has been for hundreds of years, thousands of years. So when we are searching in this temple, when we are coming face to face with our deepest fears within ourselves and or what others created within us, or we allowed and or naturally came into our being because that's part of our path. I sort of lost my train of thought there. But we really are coming into tune with dismantling cycles of oppression within ourselves and without, right? And so if we remember that the most powerful energies within us, and that what we are creating within us is going to emanate without outside of us, then it is really truly powerful to accept and to break out of oppression that we have created for ourselves or that others have put on us. So really, really beautiful energies of breaking free and claiming that freedom for ourselves, and trusting and having faith that there is a favorable outcome to this, facing our fears and moving through these fears, trusting that it is worth the effort, the work, the fear that you're going to go through if you are really challenged by change. Right on time here. So our clarity for that energy is vacation. I love this magic carpet ride. I did the Jafar reference. We've got a little Aladdin picture energy here. Take time for relaxation and adventure. And we have swallows, we have swans, beautiful flowers here. If you want, just take a look at the imagery. I just find this artist so beautiful. But vacation, take time for relaxation and adventure. So perhaps that is the favorable outcome. As we purge, as we clear, as we face our fears, we are able to then really connect to this energy of cheering up, of living in the moment just more and more and more as empowered individuals. And so this could be taking a little drive. It's fall here. This could be going to rent a hotel room or having a little fireplace there and just taking some time for yourself to be quiet, to read a book, to meditate. This could be going hiking. This could actually be booking a vacation if you feel confident in that. Or if you have somewhere that you would really like to go. It's time to be rewarded for your hard work as well. And if you can't see that, begin to manifest that for yourself. Begin to feel empowered in the possibility of you creating a vacation for yourself and asking for help and having faith and trust that there might be this energy coming forward for you. That could be the favorable outcome that you have here. Maybe you're going with someone. Things can change so fast, so quickly. And we all know that because it can go both ways. The Wheel of Fortune moves both ways because of the energy of impermanence, right? So I'm just going to read this out. They're saying, can you read that? Okay. Vacation. You deserve a rest time for long sleeps, massages. Oh yeah, I need a massage so bad. Sunbathing or playing in the snow. Oh no, they know it's coming. Rejuvenate and nurture your mind, body, and spirit with plenty of rest and simple pleasures. Simple pleasures, right? Explore the universe as it is filled with wonder, joy, and magical things. You may be going away on a family vacation, a short getaway, or romantic trip. I feel this applies to a few of us. All right. So it is important to remember the everlasting memories and bond you are creating. I enjoy a vacation to rest and rejuvenate my mind, body, and spirit, resonating to the number 55. That's right. As we come up to it on the timestamp, baby. So, yes, we have possible romantic getaways, family vacations. You might be traveling to see family. We are, in our gratitude weekend here, honoring all persons, honoring what we have, being grateful for what we have, being grateful for the people in our life, being grateful for our tribe. And so, you might be traveling to see family, but you might be taking yourself on a vacation. And exactly like Jocelyn's talking about, we can do that. I was even thinking today about taking myself on a little trip and just going to go in the woods somewhere or on the water, on the lake, and just, do one camping trip because it's going to be winter pretty soon. But really take care of yourselves and just know, like, call that vacation in. I need a vacation. I need a massage. I need to be treated. I want roses. Whatever it is for you, call it in now. Begin to call that in, what you need. Do you want a bath? Do you want a hot springs? Like, what is it? Be powerful. Stand in your power. Call it in. All right. Sorry, this is a little bit of a longer reading. I thought it might be a little bit of a shorter reading, but being a 10-10 portal coming up to the end, the final months of the year, I am not surprised. And I'm going to go for a walk in the rain after, and I might puddle jump. We'll see. So let's see. Our future card is Scales of Balance. Ancient Tantra for the soul. Hello. All right. So I do feel like, so this card in the description talks about Tantra as being within, right? But it also talks about sexual energies and the unification of the divine masculine and the feminine. So I will also read a little bit from this one, but hey, that's good news coming up from possibly going on a romantic getaway. Wouldn't that be fun? I want to go horseback riding and go sit by a fire and have chocolate. Whatever it is, I'm just enjoying my dreaming right now. So let's say Scales of Balance. Okay, here we go. You are a Tantrika, an initiate on the path of divine healing of the masculine and feminine, the two sacred polarities that are universal to human experience. As these energies come into mutual respect and balance, no small feat, you attain great power, presence, and healing effect on the world of the soul and in the human world of forms here on this earth. You are supported in further exploring this path now under the auspices and blessings of beloved Isis. Here, I'll read the first little excerpt. You are in the process of sacred relationship healing of the divine masculine and divine feminine energies within your own soul. This is the advanced spiritual path of Tantra. This is why you may have hit some roadblocks. The advanced spiritual path. Take that seriously. It is the connection of the body and soul. The effect of this inner divine relationship healing is genuine enlightenment of the mind and body. The body becomes a living, sacred temple of light, energy, and wild aliveness. And in that wild aliveness, do you think the shadows are existing there? Of course. This embodiment can be experienced in movement, in deep stillness, in vitality, and in quietness. It says here, you're a Tantrika, a sacred priestess of the Tantric arts. Some people mistakenly believe that Tantra is simply about sexuality, but it is in truth, the journey of the soul, to bring masculine and feminine polarities into wholeness, love, unity, and empowerment, to learn to be the enlightened path in every element of your being. Whoa. To learn to be the enlightened path. Were you searching for a path? Because apparently you are the path. All right, let's leave it there. This also links into the energy of twin flames. So the energy or soulmate, however you perceive it in your mind, but that energy exists within yourself. Even if it is outside of you, it is a reflection to go back within, to unify the divine feminine masculine within you. So that's a really lovely energy with the scales of balance. So you are an initiate, right? And with that holds responsibility and power. To use your power wisely. Self-respect. Dear God and angels, thank you for helping me see myself as you see me, through the eyes of love. Thank you for honoring and respecting me. Please guide me to do the same for myself and grant me the courage to speak up on my own behalf. Interesting, because we had that admit the truth and act accordingly. I ask for your protection in all of my relationships so that I am surrounded by loving and kind people. So this is very important when it's talking about a favorable outcome in a vacation, romantic getaway. You know, you might have fears to clear. You might be afraid of betrayal, of mistrust. I certainly have fears of that because I feel like I was very disappointed. And I have to take responsibility for my part to play in that. But, some responsibilities or burdens are for others to carry. because they were the ones that lied or deceived, right? So, we do, as we move forward here and we let the past go and we offer forgiveness in whatever way works for us, we have to really embody this energy of self-respect and call in the protection from those energies that we don't want to connect with anymore, because hopefully we have evolved and learned enough not to re-enter or re-engage into that energy. And the scales of balance is interesting because it indicates both people and or within or without, right? This could be a physical person, but it could just be talking about the divine masculine and feminine within you. Both have to have that self-respect, okay? So the divine masculine within you, the divine feminine within you, both of those aspects of yourself must have this self-respect. And let's see. Ooh, I love this. Hello, perfect. This is originality. Blaze your own trail. For some of those, I can't talk now. I need breakfast. For those of you who like to blaze, this has more meanings than one. But blaze your own trail. Enjoy the energy that you're creating. You've created this with the help of spirit, with the help of the universe, with the help of allies and adversaries who came here to help you, and you came here to help them. You're all connected. One of the cards here, even if you have these energies of disappointment and shock, there's only two energies of love, those that you have loved and those that you will love, because love never just disappears. So originality, blaze your own trail, and we're coming up on this moon here. It's developing into the full moon. So I feel like this timeline for this reading is really quick. Let's read this. I love this. I love the art. Originality. Okay. You are a go-getter and a free spirit by nature. You exhibit originality, courage, and defiance. You were born to succeed and breathe excitement, love, and life into the lives of others. Despite your chaotic ways and gregarious nature, you are loving and generous. Mantra: love me without fear. Trust me without wondering. Love me without restriction. Love me without demands. I am worth it. Whoa, that one is heavy for me, because I have had this energy of being too much, or triggering too much in someone else, right? I'm willing to do the work. I'm willing to look within. It is deeply challenging. Hey, how you doing? Glad to see you on here, bud. But this one is really, really cool. I'm going to read this again because it just made me feel like some freedom and like energy in my heart. You're not too much, okay? You're not too much. You have to be all of you. So mantra: love me without fear. Trust me without wondering. Love me without restriction. Love me without demands. I am worth it. Wow. And coming from the scales of balance and self-respect, I am worth it. So you must cultivate and be disciplined and committed to the self-respect and self-worth within you that you have now remembered or recalled or recommitted to or recultivated. And this could go for the other person as well. If this is in relation to another person, love them without fear. Love or trust them without wondering. Love them without restriction. Love them without demands. They are worth it. So this is going to be a really interesting trail that we are blazing because of the setbacks. Most of us at this point, and especially if you're on an initiate's path or a priest or priestess, you will deliberately have challenges set for you, right? And so coming through those, wherever you are right now in this moment, you are being asked to trust and have faith. If in nothing else, trust and have faith in yourself, okay? That you can trust again. You can love again. At all of these things you are capable of, so capable of, especially if you go back and you tap into this energy of the infinite you, right? You might not want to come back. I've said that a few times. I don't want to ever come back to Earth. However, if you think about yourself and your lifetimes and the people and the contracts, the souls, if you go right down to the base of that, love is everything, and energy never dies, right? It just changes and transforms. You never really love anyone, and no one really is that. They might show up as an adversary or an enemy, but truly everyone is, well, depending on how your outlook and what you're creating and what you contracted into, in it for love, for lessons, for teaching, for growth, right? So that was a very beautiful card to kind of end the main reading on. I do have a couple more cards here. I'm running out of energy, so I'm going to touch on them briefly. I was going to pull from my deck, but it's not the day for it because, I kind of just feel that energy. So let's see what shape-shifting energy we're working with. So is it a warning? Is it a guidance card? Let's find out. Ooh, Fiona and the Unicorn. The gift of sacred sight, resonating to the number 11. We've got this a few times, you guys. So this is really awesome. Pay attention to your third eye, your crown chakra, your power. Your sacred sight will really help you be the path, be the sacred path. Okay? So I love that. I was kind of hoping it wasn't going to be something dreary and hardcore, and it was not. So I am very grateful for this. All right. And also, I'm just looking at the cards here. This Archangel Michael card also had a unicorn on it. So you can tap into the animal totem of a unicorn too. All right. And so for those of you who have a little bit more of an interest in romantic energies or relationship energies with yourself or others, or you want to inquire a little bit into what this blaze your own trail or this romantic kind of trip, this vacation, and why we need to be open to loving again and trusting again, these cards are for you. Ooh, hello. Okay, so from my Kindred Spirit Love Oracle, we have mistakes. Self-forgiveness is required to move forward in your healing journey. It is a part of your path to make mistakes and to learn lessons from experiences. So this is really dismantling perfectionism. And that's also something that you might have found or find in the dark healing chamber, is the need to always be perfect, the need to always be right, or to win at all costs, right? What are those costs? So it is safe to forgive yourself first before working towards forgiving others. So I'll just read that again. Mistakes. Self-forgiveness is required to move forward in your healing journey. It is a part of your path to make mistakes and to learn lessons from experiences. It is safe to forgive yourself first before working towards forgiving others. And now I've been triggered in the past when I've heard things like that. Forgive yourself. And I go, what? Forgive myself for what? For someone else lying to me or something like that. But no, it's true. It's, it can be a simple level of forgiveness. Like, I'm sorry you had to go through that. I'm sorry, Molly. I'm sorry that you had to go through that. Right? Or, you could do ho'oponopono on yourself. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. I love you. These energies, there's no harm in it. What is the harm of forgiving yourself? And so to clarify, self-forgiveness and being an acknowledgement that everybody makes mistakes. So whether it's your past partner or a person coming into your life, this person has also made mistakes. They are not perfect. You are not perfect. You have made mistakes. You both will make mistakes, right? So it's really understanding and taking ownership for the shadow and the light side of yourself. And therefore you can really honor the shadow self of the other person. Oh, okay, you've made that mistake, and that might not be a deal breaker. Rather than if you're really still unwilling to forgive yourself, you're unwilling to forgive others, or acknowledge that mistakes are part of the journey, you might meet someone and kind of go, oh, you're out, deal breaker. That happened to you. You're out. Of course, there are times that that's necessary, but you're really going to have to be aware of where you're making these decisions from. Are you making it from your gift of sacred sight? So Everything combined, mind, spirit, body, your intuition, your experience? Or are you making it from your mind and out of fear of being hurt? Oh, hello. Oh, this is interesting. This is a new deck to me, so I've never read this card, but I have to admit I'm a little like, resonating to the number 8. So we have mistakes with a tall tale. We've got Monsieur Pinocchio up there. So in suggesting perhaps some lies have been told, let's check in with the Oracle of the 7 Energies by Colette Baron Reid. 35, look alive. Let's do this. This is the last card, you guys. So, a tall tale. Key concepts. And remember, we're working on our shadow self. There's a favorable outcome. And we're admitting some sort of truth to ourselves. So, key concepts. Denial, concealing the truth so you can manipulate and control a situation. Fear-based communication, creating a narrative to hide behind, not allowing the fear of what others will think to influence your words. Learning to communicate from a place of authenticity. Ooh, whoa. Okay. We all knew this was up. For those that this applies to most, we knew that somebody was telling a tall tale or wasn't in their truth, couldn't communicate their truth. You or someone else is telling a tall tale right now. You always know if a falsehood is spoken because it doesn't feel grounded. When you lie, you get high on an illusory sense of power that is doomed to fail at some point. You feel driven by the fear of exposure, but something makes you stick to your story even though you know it has no substance. Whatever lie we are caught up in isn't as important as the motive for it. This is interesting because remember, this is about our relationships right now, relationship to ourselves and relationship with others. Why does anyone lie? Perhaps we don't believe the truth is good enough, or we want to keep doing what we know we shouldn't be doing. Then there is the lie put forth while in denial, such as hiding an active addiction. In this scenario, we may believe our own lies. The tall tale, the white lie, the stretching of the truth, and the blatant fabrication are all about control. The desire for it, the lack of it, the need to maintain it so we can manipulate the outer world and hide our inner one. So when I was talking about the narcissist in my life, this is all about that. You know, that type of person is really afraid of losing control. And so that is why they manipulate others. And the manipulation is all about the control. So the lies, the deceit are all about control, whether that is self or other. They want to be in control of the narrative. So I might read this again, but you know, that last little bit there, the need to maintain it so we can manipulate the outer world and hide our inner one. And that's why sometimes it can be really hard to figure out covert narcissism and or psychological abuse because they're lying to themselves. And so how are you supposed to figure that out, right? But remember what I said about if you can see the darkness in yourself, you might be able to see the darkness in others more truthfully, more authentically. Today, ask for the truth. Be willing to pay the price and be okay with the vulnerability your lie is exposing in yourself and others. Transparency is required to get to where you need to go, to be truly empowered, to reveal the strength of what is true and authentic. Any other path leads to a dead end. Ooh, whoa, that's crazy. Because look at the card I pulled for myself yesterday. Dead end. Very interesting. Remember the saying, the truth will set you free, and get ready to fly unfettered. Whoa. I've been receiving a lot of messages that a message is coming through, truth is coming through. And so I suppose it's really good to figure out whether you are the one who's telling a tall tale. Where are you in denial? And or be prepared for someone else's truth to come through, knowing that they have lied, knowing that they have deceived. And so that you can be better prepared to, well, like it says, be willing to pay the price and be okay with the vulnerability your lie is exposing in yourself and others. So if there is a lie that is going to be exposed, and transparency is the only thing that will reclaim power here, the truth will set both parties free. So get ready to fly unfettered, meaning you don't have that confusion. You don't have that questioning. Were they lying? Were they telling the truth? How deceptive were they really? Or am I lying to myself, right? What is it for you? So you or someone else is telling a tall tale right now. You always know if a falsehood is spoken because it doesn't feel grounded. When you lie, you get high on an illusory sense of power that is doomed to fail at some point. So if it's someone else, these lies are starting to accumulate. There's power is starting to crumble. This energy, this burden of lying is starting to hit them hard. You feel driven by the fear of exposure. So this can be like cheaters when, no one knows they're cheating, but they are with multiple people, but yet their partner has no idea. No one else has any idea. And they do it because they thrive off that energy of being illusory, like having that power with multiple people and having the power to also hurt multiple people. So it says you feel driven by the fear of exposure, but something makes you stick to your story even though you know it has no substance. So no, I'm not cheating, or no, I haven't been with someone for a while. Really, they had someone over last night and you saw an extra condom wrapper or something. I'm just saying that this tall tale, this energy of mistakes and self-forgiveness, it's kind of an interesting one to navigate. And I might pull one clarifying card because it's talking about self-forgiveness, making mistakes, learning, and forgiving yourself before forgiving others. So perhaps this is connected into someone coming through and asking for forgiveness, right? But you have to be very careful here because this person has already lied, or you have already lied. So if you're the one that's lying, you have to be willing to accept that person might not be interested in having you as a friend, having you as a partner. If you have betrayed their trust, they have total responsibility to themselves in that self-respect and that originality, blazing their own trail, to say no to you. And vice versa, if there's a cross watcher and you're watching for someone else, if you're the one who lied or manipulated or betrayed someone, then you have to face the music here and be willing to pay the price, but come forward with the truth anyways. So you might lose this person, but it's better than having that burden on you. And you're also dismantling this energy of deception within yourself. So it is about you, but it's also setting someone free from something too. And that's what's coming through in this. The truth will set you free for both parties. So, wow, some very powerful energy at the very end there, just letting us know that there might be some very powerful energies and messages coming through where we are required to really look at ourselves, our darkness, the mistakes we make, and our ability to forgive ourselves and possibly others. So very, very interesting card spread today. Very intriguing, not quite linear, but pretty close. So if you would like a card pull, I'm just maybe going to pull from my Shadow Oracle so that they are short and sweet. But if you would like one, so Kathy did request at the beginning, I'm just remembering here, so I will pull one for her as she catches the replay. Once again, if you have enjoyed this video, please hit the thumbs up. That helps me grow my channel. And if you want to like, share, or subscribe, please do. And here we go. So this one is for Kathy from my Oracle, the Shadow Fantasy Oracle. Woo! Hello. So this one is right along the lines of the Temple of Black Obsidian and everything we have just been talking about, including this Tall Tale card. Where we lie to ourselves, where others lie to us, and where we can count on our gift of insight to help us see through deceptions in ourselves and others. This one is all about shadow work. So this is about the reflections, the mirrors, the shadows that other people reflect back to us, and what that means for our inner work. So what can we look at? And I was saying this about my past relationship, where I used to kind of look at and go, well, that's your thing. You're afraid of this. Well, no, the shadow work is he's mirroring or reflecting an energy that I do have within. And so looking at that allowed me to work on my shadows a bit, which will help me admit mistakes, which will help me forgive myself and move forward so that I can trust again. And or so that, a person from my past or in my present could tell me that they have lied or told a tall tale or haven't been transparent, And same for you guys, as that applies in your own life. But Kathy, this is for you. There's some deep shadow work going on. And I think this is just, reiterating that is something that you don't need to be afraid of. Okay. So Charlotte, this is your message for the day, because we're just going to be in the present moment. What is your message? This message is for Charlotte. Ooh, love it. You are on a threshold. So, this is kind of about the portal or the gate, and we can't really see what's on the other side of the threshold, but we do see this archway here and this beautiful light and the soft energy in behind. So you are on this threshold. So the initiate has to go through a lot of challenges before crossing this threshold. So this is a wonderful kind of recognition, I feel like, for you, that you are coming up and through and crossing over a threshold for yourself. So this is fantastic. I kind of just see you like hopping over, almost like if you're carrying an umbrella, like Mary Poppins style. But you're ready, you've done the work, and it's time to go over this threshold. So there is this new energy waiting right through this archway here for you. And Marilyn, let's see. Yeah, morning-ish. I know I'm going to go out, grab a coffee, grab a little snacky snack, and then go for a walk with my beautiful dog. It's one of my favorite things to do. So Marilyn, this is, that one to come out. Oh, I love this. This is so cute. And it was just 12222 on the timestamp for you, Marilyn. Angelic guidance. So you really have, I think, someone sending you messages and talking to you, maybe sending you like the heart stones and that kind of thing. But there is angelic guidance helping you to make a move here. There's a move that needs to be made, a transition that needs to be made. And so you have angelic guidance here helping you at this time. So really tap into that, tap into your power, your gift of sacred sight. And that will help you connect in with this angelic guidance here. And your self-respect too, right? Because that it all comes in, self-respect, self-worth, and self-security is attached to whether we believe we can talk to God, or we can connect with spirit, or we can have a closer connection to animals or animal totems, and listening to messages that are coming through and observing from greater height than we would normally be able to. If we weren't working with our heart or our intuition, we wouldn't be able to see things from a higher perspective. We might not be able to see someone's telling a tall tale, but we know it. Our intuition has told us someone is telling a tall tale, whether it's ourselves or someone else. I do get that this is someone else, but it can be you. And of course, you only know what that is for you. But there we are, angelic guidance for you, Marilyn. And Jocelyn, and you're welcome, Charlotte. Thank you so much for tuning in today. Really love to see you here. Thanks for supporting the community. And so Jocelyn, let's see what card is for you today. Whoa. You have some very powerful energies around you. So we'll see what the card says, but just make sure that you have extra like stones or extra protection around you. I'm not saying that it's good or bad, but there's just a lot of power around you. So that can magnetize neutral. It can magnetize good or bad for you. And so just recognize that. And here we are. Maybe this is why we have divine transformation. So you are really going through an internal energetic frequency transformation. And so things are going to start to really fall away in terms of what you can handle anymore. So there's going to be some changes for you coming up, Jocelyn, in terms of your new path, or that path that you're embodying. You might not be able to handle certain people, certain situations anymore because you're undergoing this divine transformation. So really, really beautiful energy for you. But as I said, when you're going through this transformation, and like many of us have been, you're actually very vulnerable and susceptible. So this self-respect and the truth within is really important right now, because then you're not going to allow anybody to cross your boundaries. And that's especially important when you go through this divine transformation, because you need to hold space for yourself, because you are the treasure that you need to protect, because this transformation is very hard earned and hard worked for, and also very divinely protected and guided. But it's good for you to also be aware, okay, I need to protect myself and my vulnerability right now. So that's your message for today, Jocelyn. All right. Was there anybody else? I think I got everyone. We got Kathy, we got Charlotte, Marilyn, Jocelyn. All right. So I don't see any other requests for a card pull. I hope that reading resonated with you. If you really enjoyed it, feel free to like, share, subscribe. Also, if you feel drawn to, you don't have to. Donations are gratefully accepted. Once again, that's pinned to my page on Kindred Heart Tarot there. And once again, thank you to everybody who has donated to my page, my channel, and to help me continue to bring forth this energy and share my gifts even more as I continue to evolve. So thank you so much. All right, guys, take care, and we will catch you on Tuesday. Ciao for now. Bye. Au revoir.